Hello and welcome to my channel. As you probably know, with version 1.21 of Minecraft comes a big change to the way mobs spawn. This change basically breaks all creeper farms that were working up to now. Today we're going to try and remedy that by making a fairly compact design that works in version 1.21 and upwards. First, let's quickly review the change that happened. As of version 1.21, mobs no longer spawn on the northwest corner of their block like they used to. They now spawn in the center, as shown on screen right now. One of the core issues when making a creeper farm is to deal with spiders. And the favored method has usually been to prevent them from spawning altogether. Unfortunately, due to the change in the way mobs spawn, traditional spider prevention techniques, which involved buttons, fence posts or iron bars, are no longer effective. Luckily, there is a workaround. We can now prevent spiders from spawning by using full solid blocks, slabs or trapdoors every 3 blocks as shown here on your screen. Remember this pattern. It is going to be at the core of our farm. Now, how are we exactly going to take this pattern and turn it into a gunpowder farm? If you followed my channel, you will know I like to use a combination of ice and solid blocks in order to force mob path finding towards certain points. Like so. This works because when mobs spawn on ice, or on top slabs for that matter, they are unable to pathfind unless they find a solid block within a 21 by 15 by 21 perimeter from their feet. They will also never try to pathfind back onto the ice or top slabs when they have reached a solid block. Here we're going to exploit this in order to trick our creepers into water streams, which will bring them into a central drop chute equipped at the bottom with trident killers. Let's see more in details how we are going to proceed exactly. What sparked the creation of this farm was a message on Discord by Macbar, who told me they had modded my last 1.20 design by replacing some of the buttons on the ground with trapdoors. This gave me the idea to create very simple lanes using trapdoors and bottoms with water streams on top, such as those you can see on screen right now. The trapdoors, here, 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 here and here, are there for spider prevention. They replace the slabs that we used previously. The buttons, here, here, etc., are there to prevent other mobs from spawning, such as zombies or witches. They also still allow a path into the water stream, like so. What happens with this setup is that whenever a creeper spawns, it will attempt to detect a solid block, and has a 66% chance to detect one that is either right underneath the water stream or on the opposite side. In both cases, the creeper will pathfind straight into the water stream. Once it reaches it and enters it, it immediately starts swimming upwards and finds itself locked into place by these trapdoors on the side of the water stream. They prevent it completely from escaping until it reaches the drop chute, as you can see here on screen right now. Now let's see how we're going to implement that into a full-fledged farm. But before we can do that, we need to find the first things in our farm, the biome and the AFK point. Due to spawning weights, all creeper farms in Bedrock Edition are best built in either ice spikes or frozen ocean biomes, which is what we have here. Our AFK spot must be at least 45 blocks away from the closest spawnable point on the ground. Here we chose to destroy some of the terrain and settled for y equals 116 as our height. We also placed a lit roof above our AFK point so that we can securely AFK there at night once the farm is complete. Do not pay attention to the common blocks here. Those are there for testing purposes and will not be either required or even available in a survival world. Now, counting 24 blocks down from the AFK point, we will establish our first spawning platform. And here is the base layout that we are going to work with. It is 19 by 19 blocks in size, with the central block, aka the drop chute, in line with our AFK spot. The platform must start exactly 23 blocks away from the AFK. So our AFK is 23 blocks away on this side, here, and 24 blocks above. The platform must also extend 19 blocks into the desired biome and 9 blocks to each side. The four corners of the platform are made up of 8 by 8 squares of ice in order to take advantage of the mob pathfinding AI. In the center here we have a solid block cross that is 3 blocks wide, as you can see here. To the far ends of the cross you can see we also have a couple of ice blocks here to ensure that the platform is perfectly square. Starting here on the lower left corner, you can see that we also have a bunch of holes punched into the ice. This is to save on materials. These holes are spaced exactly 3 blocks in each direction. Except, as you can see here, on the central cross. The cross is where we will have our water streams. It is the detection area of the spawning platform. Note that creepers will also detect solid blocks in the crosses above and underneath themselves, so there are actually quite a few blocks that they can detect in each layer. Once you have your first platform done like here, place temporary soul torches block, and these must be soul torches because otherwise your ice will melt, like I'm doing here on screen. Also spaced every 3 blocks. This should ensure that no hostile mobs will spawn during the creation of the farm. And this should be the result. Once this is done, fill the lower left corner of your platform with a temporary block. Then place 51 more blocks on top of it in order to find the place where you will start building your roof. Like so. From this point, create a solid block roof matching exactly your spawning platform down below, so it must be 19 by 19. This roof will of course create darkness to allow mob spawning, and it will also prevent your water source blocks from freezing. And this should be the result. Once you have your roof, extend it 7 blocks in each direction, like so, until you reach this result. Once this is done, diagonally connect the corners, like this. And everything should fall in line. Do it for all the corners. And this should be the result. Then, in order to prevent surface spawns from happening on top of that roof at night, place either slabs, buttons or light sources appropriately. This will also prevent snow from accumulating. Here we're going to use slabs. Here. Now that this is done, let's go back to our spawning platform and start populating it with spider preventing blocks. Here again, you can use either trapdoors or slabs, whichever you prefer. We're going again to use slabs because they are cheaper and easier to get. Cover each and every hole with a slab. These will prevent spiders from spawning. This should be your result. Now we're going to take care of the water lanes. For that, we're going to need buttons. Place 2 buttons like this, leave a gap. Place 2 buttons, leave a gap. Place 1 button, leave a gap. Do it on every 4 sides of the cross. Like so. Now we'll fill the gaps that we left with trapdoors, like this. And this is what you should have now. Please notice that in the center you need to have trapdoors on each side of the drop chute. Here, here, here and here. Otherwise you could have spiders spawn here, for example, or here. Now on the outer part of the cross, here, we're going to place the trapdoors that lock the creepers into place once they start swimming up. In order to do that, we have to go 2 blocks up from the base layer and start placing trapdoors on the top position like this. We also need a top position trapdoor above this central slab here on each side of the cross. The result should look like this. Now at each end here, here, here and here, we will now place a water source block. So place a temporary block like so, take a water bucket, place your water source, remove the temporary block, and it should go right to the drop chute, like so. So you have your first layer almost done. What's left to do is to take care of non-spider, non-creeper, 1 by 1 mobs, such as zombies or witches, or even skeletons if you're in a non-frozen biome. In order to do that, we're going to use buttons again. So create a second base layer identical to the first one, so the layer made up of ice and solid blocks here. create a second one immediately on top of these trapdoors here. It should be 3 blocks above the first layer. Like so. Don't forget to place soul torches all around the platform as you did for the first one, in order to prevent unwanted spawns from happening until you are done building the farm. Now let's go back to our first layer here and start placing our buttons. Everywhere you see ice above yourself, place a button. These are the spawnable spots of your platform. These buttons will collide with the hitbox of zombies and witches, preventing them from spawning. This here should be the result. We have buttons above each and every single spawnable spot of this platform. Now let's move on to the Trident Killer and collection system. As you can see here, I've already placed a magma block right underneath the drop chute, 5 blocks under it. Like so. I will take a shortcut and show you the finished product, as it is quite easy to build. And here is the result. As you can see, it is a fairly basic trapdoor Trident Killer that simply branches out to the sides in order to be able to take care of up to 3 mobs at the same time. The magma block here prevents creepers from swimming up once they drop into the chute. The TK extends 3 blocks to the sides and 2 blocks to the front for now. It ends with packed ice blocks here, here and here. The only thing that's a bit difficult with this Trident Killer is the fact that you have to take care about direction. The TK is directional, which means the trapdoors cannot be placed randomly. Their hinge has to be either east or south. So like here, you can see this one is east, this one is east as well, and this one is south. Here we also have a simple comparator clock that activates the trapdoors. The comparator clock must be at least 3 blocks away from the closest trapdoor. Underneath the trapdoors we also have grindstones. This is to create so-called relog proofing, as coined by the technique's creator, Prime. What this means is that if your TK fails for a reason or another, you can make it self-repair by turning it off and then delogging from the game and relogging. On the block that's immediately above our trapdoors here, we have top position trapdoors. These are used to align our impaling 5 tridents onto these trapdoors underneath. In order to throw your tridents, first open the top trapdoors, then throw the trident right in the center, close the trapdoor and the trident will fall into place. Then you can open it again. Do it for all 3 tridents. It's as simple as that. Now let's connect the TKs to item and XP delivery. This is a very simple step. So again, I will take a shortcut and show you the finished product. And here is the result. As you can see, we have very simple water lanes that bring items into these 3 hoppers here leading into chests. The water lanes also carry the XP into this water bubble column here, which carries it towards the AFK and the player here. Now all that's left to do in order to complete the bottom part of the farm is to add a redstone line to activate our comparator clock here. So we'll use a repeater here, going right into the back of the comparator, and then connect this to the AFK here with redstone dust and a slime and redstone block pillar connecting to a pressure plate that we will place here on top of our AFK spot. And again, here is the result. You can see the redstone dust here, the slime and redstone block pillar here, and the pressure plate on the AFK spot. If I stand on it, you will see down below that the comparator clock gets activated. This way, whenever the player is AFKing, the TKs will run. And whenever the player leaves the AFK, the TKs will stop. Now that this is done, we can go back to our spawning platforms and replicate the first layer 16 times. This should bring the platforms right underneath the roof there, and the roof should integrate nicely into the build. So let's see the finished product right now, and here we have it. So let's examine it from a closer point of view. You can see the platforms with the buttons, the slabs, the water streams, the trapdoors, and here we have our roof with buttons placed directly onto it. And you can stop here. This is already a fully functional cave-only creeper farm for version 1.21 and above, which should make you around 49 or 50 stacks of gunpowder per hour on average. If you want, however, to take things further, you can add a surface-only layer to one or both sides of the AFK, provided you have enough room, of course. Let's see an example. Here we are. Let's see it from above. As you can see, it is similar to what we already built in the earlier parts of this video. This is our layout. The platform is 37 by 19 blocks in size and has 3 drop chutes leading to single TKs, because with surface only creepers we don't need to make the TKs branch out to the sides. There will not be enough creepers to warrant the need for that. The platform is connected, as you can see below, directly into the XP and item collection system that we built earlier. So we have these big drop chutes where the items and the XP will drop from the TKs. This platform needs to be surmounted by a tinted glass layer, like so. In order to save on costs, every single non-spawnable spot can be covered with solid blocks and buttons as shown on screen instead of tinted glass. Tinted glass is only required for spawnable spots. And this is it. The farm is done. With one single surface layer, it should yield between 53 and 54 stacks per hour, which is about a full double chest. For people who need even more gunpowder, I am preparing a semi-split density design which should land around 100 stacks per hour. If you are watching this after the video has been released, there should be a link to it in the top right corner of your screen. Let's see the farm at work for a short while. Soon we should see our first creepers start spawning, and they already have. Fairly quickly they should start walking towards the water lanes and get caught into them and carried into the drop chutes. Sometimes it can take a little bit of time. The items and XP are carried by the water streams that we placed underneath here, with the XP being properly delivered to the player, as you can see on screen here. The items, of course, are placed into these double chests here. In order to yield its maximum power, the farm of course requires the player to AFK with a looting 3 sword. And that's it for today. I hope you liked the video. There will be a link to a world download in the description, so you can check it out by yourself. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to write them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to reply as quickly as possible. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.